morning, Stampers. It is Tammy with Stamp and Scrap Tammy with our December Cards and Coffee class. So welcome everybody. What I'm going to do today is show you the class that we would normally do live in person, and I'm going to just bring it to you in this virtual platform. And I have got a super fun announcement. Now, it's not going to happen next month. Next month we are going to do in January Cards and Coffee just as we always have, like this, or not always. This is only like our third month, so you probably haven't even gotten used to it yet. And normally it's the last Thursday of the month, but because of Christmas, I have moved all my events up quite a bit. And so January is going to be normal like this. You can get a feel for what it's like. And then February, I'm super excited to announce that I'm going to move it into a option to do a live class through Zoom. So you will be able to sign up with it and we'll be able to stamp live together. And I'll offer a couple different times for that. It'll be super exciting. All right, so let's get started. All right, I don't have much to talk about here. I'm just making sure we're here and ready to go. And then I will show you what we have. The cards today, I don't know if you saw my post where I said that it's ridiculously awesome. We are using the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set, and so fun. I use every single stamp in the set. So that is always something really exciting when you can use them all. Okay, I gotta make sure my volume is off. Oh, good morning to those that are watching. We have Donna and Janine and Barb. So welcome those that are watching live, and of course you can always watch this on the replay. And I'm just trying to take a look here. I did attempt to put in Gail, good morning. I attempted to put the ordering link for Cards and Coffee. So there's an option to get these cards for free. Looks like I should be able to leave it up here like this. All right, good morning, Debbie. Okay, so there is an ordering link. If it's not there now, I will make sure it's there after the video is over. So if you love these cards, you have the option to make a purchase and get them for free through that ordering link. So it's a special link just for Cards and Coffee class. Okay, so if you love these and you want to get these for free, there's an option for that. And there is also, so there's two different things. A host code option, right? And so you place a $50 order. Through that host code, I automatically send you these. Now, if you'd like to just get the cut supplies and you don't want to place a big order, that's just fine too. You can click the link that I will share through Constant Contact Events where you can just purchase the cut supplies for these and I will ship them to you, or you can pick them up at my porch pickup. So a couple options to get this class. All right, so look at how pretty these are. Bright, fun, and ridiculously awesome. All right, so let me just show you the cards we're gonna make and then I'll show you the supplies. And so this is our Cards and Coffee class. I do this class once a month. I've been doing it probably for about, oh goodness, 3 years or so. We flip-flopped the days, but it was always on a Tuesday morning where we would do the live one. And then obviously now I'm showing you on a Thursday morning the virtual version of this. All right, so this is the stamp set that I'm using today. Again, look at this. Every stamp set in there is on a block right now to use with these cards. And then here are the supplies. There are 4 cards, 2 of each. So this is how great it is. Everything is cut. So if you don't have all these colors, all these die cuts, it's a wonderful option. All the embellishments included. And again, so we're going to do this one just like this in January, and then in February, so fun, we are going to move it to a Zoom platform where everybody can create together. So there'll be some options for that and more information coming out. All right, really easy when we're using Stampin' Up! Products to coordinate everything. I am using today, and this was actually by accident, I started creating, and it just so happened it worked out great, that I only used the Playing with Patterns Designer Series paper. I did add in a little bit of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper with the wood grains. And I didn't have a full package to show, but I pulled in, so obviously this is the Playing with Patterns. I used the ribbon combo pack from the Playing with Patterns set. I almost used all of it up with the ones that I sent out already, but I have more coming to send out more for those that order. In this class, I'm going to actually leave this host code open until the middle of January. All of the information will be available through the weekly email that just so happens that it's going out a day late. So if you're seeing this now and you're not on my email list, you still have opportunity to do that. It's going out tomorrow because normally it's Thursday, but I got a little out of hand baking cookies yesterday. And so I ran out of time. All right, so it is this combo pack here is the ribbon that I used. And then of course I added in, I believe, the resin dots. I used a few of those and some rhinestones and things like that. But those are all included in the card kit. Okay, and then the colors, so the coordinating colors. And again, this just so happened today when I pulled this out and then I pulled out the supplies that I used, these are the colors that I stuck with. All but, there is not a purple Posy ink pad, so if you're looking for that, we do not have one. But the paper and there is a blends marker, just absolutely gorgeous. So let's get started with the cards today. I'll set these aside because I definitely will need them. I will just create one of the cards today. There are 2 cards per grouping. And another supply I did use, now if you don't have this supply yet, it's one if you follow along with my cards and want to recreate them, it's one you're probably going to want to get your hands on, is the Tasteful Touches embossing folder. It's very rare if this one doesn't show up in a card class that I use. Looks like I got lots of interesting things in view of the camera today. I have my coffee there still, I have a basket. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. One thing I do have, maybe I'll do that right now. Last week I did have an order special where you get to pick my half price item. And I'm going to throw some host rewards your way too. So I got to look at what those host rewards are. I know the minimum is $20. So whoever's name I pick out of here. So everybody that placed an order last week when our sales started, and then through, let me see, when was that? Through Monday. So if you placed an order during that time, your name went in here. And you can pick my half price item because I have enough things here. So I'm going to give that away. And then I'm just looking away. I'm mixing these up. And then I will pick a name out of here. And then they're also going to get minimum $20 product credit that they get to pick. I haven't looked what exactly I ended up with. So they're going to get half of my host dollars as well. Okay, totally looking away. And let me grab that name out. And awesome. Okay, so we have Misty Good is the winner for our half price item and our host reward. So awesome. I will definitely do that again. That was pretty fun. I got to write a note on here and stick that by my computer so I don't forget what I'm doing. And then other thing we need to announce, this will post after our 25 days of Christmas. Post a mailbox selfie and win a prize. All right. So if you, I know on these, I get a lot of people say, oh, I just mailed today or I mailed yesterday. Grab yourself another card, find an address in your address book, or if you scroll down on this group, or if you go back to our virtual party group, you'll find some addresses there. Send a random act of kindness card if you would like to get in on the mailbox selfie, win a prize. That post will go out after the video today. So you could post it on here too. If I catch it, I'll add you to the drawing. So that's kind of a fun thing for our 25 days of Christmas. All right, let's get started here. And as you'll see, I did add in the stitch rectangles. If you watched yesterday, this is the inside of one of the goat cards that we made. So I had those left over. So here are our fun supplies. And I have a really fun different technique that I'm doing with my insides on today's projects. I love it because, you know, our Whisper White, we're kind of in a conserve mode with Whisper White now. So I have a different idea for my inserts. All right, so what I have here is some crushed curry cardstock. And I'm not going to go through all the measurements because if you get this, you'll have them, okay? So today I'm just going to put them all together so you can see how beautiful they are and how easy they go together. If you want to take a screenshot, you're welcome to do that. But these are in the Cards and Coffee class. That is available. And again, you can get it for free with a purchase, or you can just purchase the card kit if you'd like. So a couple different options for that. I should probably be looking at my sample. I'm just gluing stuff together. And I feel like I'm maybe not gluing it right. That is right. I am not gluing this right. I need to watch what I'm doing. I was going to say stop talking, but I need to kind of do that to tell you what I'm doing here. All right. I could use a foam mat or a rubber mat if I had one. Let me see if I can find one here. So this is a good use for a silicone craft sheet, is if I don't want to worry about adhesive sticking to my surface, I can pull that in. All right, I want to tuck that behind there is what I want to do. So these are just some cute little doilies. I haven't used those a lot, but I thought it would add a little sunshine, and that's the stamp that I'm going to use today. And let me look at what I did on the inside. Okay, I'm just taking a look what I got to do here. So this one is pretty fun. We're going to do some heat embossing. Let me move those out of the way. And I need to bring up my heat embossing. I got a little station here kind of set up. And here we go. So that works out pretty slick. All right, so what we need is this piece, and as long as I am doing this one, I think what I'll do the heat embossing for the next card as well. And so the next card I am using one of these here. I cut these out from, this one is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, another, I was gonna say fan favorite, but definitely favorite of mine. I'm sure many of you like it as well. All right, so let's go ahead, let's do the one that I'm working on here first, and then we'll do the other one as well, as long as we're in this mode. And so this one I'm going to use You Are My Sunshine. Of course, look at that, crushed curry, nice bright. And what a great card for the winter to send to somebody. And let's just push that down, straight up, straight down. Let's let that soak in a little bit. As you see, I got my coffee filter here and container. That's what I'm going to use for my embossing. And let's just tap that away. It looks like I've got a nicely done Versamark image there. And let's just do that. This is how I do it. I don't even worry about how much I jump out of here because I can put it back in. So I just kind of go a little crazy with it. And then if you get anywhere you don't, you can just kind of give it a little blow on it a little bit and it'll take off the excess. So that looks wonderful. And then as long as we're right here, let's do the other one. And I love this saying, let faith be bigger than your fear. And when this stamp set came out, who knew we would still be in the situation we are right now? And again, you know, there's always blessings that come when things happen like this. We used to do this card class live. And I know I'm watching the names come up here. I would not have been able to stamp with many of you at all to show this class if I was if I was doing it in person only, because, you know, I'd be busy doing it in person. So I wouldn't have had time to go ahead and bring this to a virtual platform. So in a way, I'm pretty thankful that I've been able to meet many of you in the virtual world. Kind of counting our blessings. All right, so then same thing here. I love this on the wood grain to do the white embossing, because otherwise there's really no other way to stamp on a wood grain paper other than with doing the embossing, or it just wouldn't show up. So it's a great option to use the wood grain as your place that you're going to do some stamping. Now here I did get just a little bit where I don't want it, and so I'm going to use a paintbrush. I just keep this little paintbrush next to me for this very thing. There we go, looks perfect to me. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in my heat tool. And let's see, so you'll see this is really actually a pretty simple technique. It looks overwhelming if you've never done it before. I know we do have some beginner stampers that are watching and have been watching, and it's a great stepped up tool. So if you've been just doing your cards regular, this is a fun thing to try, and it's so exciting. I hope that this shows as it starts changing color. Now there's a couple ways to do this. I have always done mine just like this. Never had any trouble. I like to just hold a little tool there, but I'll show you on the next one how another option that many people do. You don't want to get this too close because it could burn your paper. So you do want to be careful. So I kind of just go like this, and then as soon as I start to see it turning, then I move right along all of the sentiment. And then I will hold it up to make sure that I have it all, and looks like we do. So you can see how pretty that is. And then let me do the other one. So some people go like this, and they like to go underneath. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that either. If that's how you do it, that's wonderful, as long as we all end up with the same end product. But I like to just hold it in place down here. Maybe I'm more worried about burning my fingers. So look at that. This was the last card that I created for the class. And I think it might be my favorite with the You Are My Sunshine. Let me hold that up so you can get a nice look at that, how great that is. So again, you know, not as easy to stamp on the colored cardstock, different colors, but it is really nice to use the heat emboss powder or the embossing powder. So I use the white. There's also gold and silver, so there's some options. And there's also clear. Okay, so now we need to move, because I got some powder on this. I've been using this mat for a couple days for some heat emboss projects I've been working with. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this one. I am going to bring in dimensionals. And then I'll just have one more little element that I will add for embellishing. And I didn't write down the name. Now you could add about anything. You could do rhinestones if you'd like. But again, if you do get these kits, all the embellishments are included. So it's another way to try out some embellishments too. So what I did is these white ones here, these white dots, white resin dots, they're from the holiday catalog actually. I don't know if I have any in here. Oh yeah, here they are. And I should have looked up the name. I wonder if I have some sitting here. I don't. I used almost all of them up that I had. And I am going to stick the biggest one there, and then I'm going to take two smaller ones and put them next to that. So that finishes our first card. Now our second card that I was working on was this one that I did here. I love these patterns, and I already have one in this pattern here, in this striped, with the purple posy. Again, I used that Tasteful Touches embossing folder. Let's get out our pieces here. And I'm just gonna make up one. Again, the card kits come with two. Oh, I didn't finish off the inside of that one. These cards, let's go back, rewind, reverse. These cards need to be, they need an inside. So because the stamps are so pretty. All right, so look at what I did here. I used just a 3x4 sheet of Whisper White paper. Remember, Whisper White is, you know, we're getting a different one, which is gonna be equally as great. But I'm like trying to conserve my Whisper White paper. So normally, many of you know me, I am not a cheap person at all. I normally would just be like, no, just put a full sheet of paper, who cares? But guess what, now that I have done this, I love it. It just adds a different little touch to it. It's just really pretty to just do a 3x4 insert for your insides. It's a really kind of a cool idea. Okay, so I'm gonna do on this one, P.S. I Love You. And that is stamped in crushed curry. I'm going to go ahead and add some stars to it as well. And this would be a nice option here. Let's do that as long as we have it out. Let's put a star on our envelope. All right, we can set our crushed curry to the side, as well as our P.S. I Love You. I believe I am done with that. And let's add that to the insert. And a nicely finished card. So we are making the inside just as pretty as the outside today on our cards. All right, so let's go back to this card that we have here. I have got some Night of Navy cardstock. And then again, that purple posy cardstock with the Tasteful Touches embossing folder. I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus today, just because that's what was on my desk. And it is one of my favorites. I do like it. So since I already used this pattern, because you know there are only so many patterns in a stack of paper, I decided on some of them I would use a different pattern, but still stick with the purple posy Night of Navy kind of color scheme. And crushed curry. There's a little crushed curry in this one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add some of the ribbon that was in that combo pack of ribbon. from the Playing with Patterns suite. So I have two pieces here actually. One is a little bit longer than the other, and I will bring in the one and only adhesive that I use that is not Stampin' Up, and that is just regular tape. So what I like to do with ribbon like this is just put it around the back and tape it on. Now, this is an awesome way. See, awesome. I should use awesome as many times as I can. That is a word I use a lot since we are using the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set. Okay, so this is a great way to use ribbon without having to tie an actual bow. Is just tie a knot on there, and that's all there is to it. And I will snip the ends. I added this on there. We got this from Onstage. It's so wonderful. I finally have just a ribbon scissors, and it has stayed so nice and sharp since I'm not cutting all kinds of things since I have this. I go to grab it, I'm like, oh, nope, that's the ribbon one. Put it back. And then I will adhere this on with, and this is great to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. Before the Plus, when I would use these embossing folders, I would use my tear tape to make sure that this would hold in place. But now I have no trouble with the Stampin' Seal Plus. Easy as can be. And then let's go ahead and put some dimensionals onto our already heat embossed sentiment. And pull these off. And I'm using the outsides. Remember, we can use the whole sheet of dimensionals. There's no waste when you're using those. And then now what I'm going to do is add some regular rhinestones. If I can find on these, I do like to use my Take a Pick tool. I absolutely love these. They are so shiny and add such a nice touch to the card. So I'm going to go nuts and go with 5 of them today. So in the card kits to go, I believe you get like 20 rhinestones because that's what these cards call for. Now I might have to do a little improvising depending on, because I believe they are in a backorder situation currently. So that is an option. If these kits go out sooner, then those come back available. I would just stick something else in there for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the Night of Navy to do our inside. I had to take a peek at that other one. I did just re-ink this. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope I did okay with it. And so I'm gonna put You Got This, perfect added sentiment to go along with what we have on the front of the card. Let that soak in nice. Oh, look at that. It is so great. It's like a brand new ink pad when you re-ink these things. I should have done that live. I'll have to do that for you all one of these days. And I gotta take a peek what else I added to that because I like what I added. I added a heart, and I think I need to clean this. Yeah, if I can find my cleaning. I brought out a cleaning pad. Oh, here it is. When I grabbed it, it seems whenever I have numerous of these Simply Chamois, but whenever I grab one, it is always this one with the bunny that does not wash off of here. And every time I grab this, I'll tell the story. This is the chamois that was and this bunny was one of the last cards that we stamped as a live big group up at the event center in Mankato. Last March was the last time we had our big class that we haven't been able to have. But all classes are still going on. So like this Cards and Coffee class, it has been happening. And this is a class, these cards are also what I'm using in place of that big class that I used to have too. So if you see on my emails, it says Express Stamping. That's kind of what we're going for there. Express or Cards and Coffee, same thing, same class. All right, and then add a little heart. Let's do the same for our envelope. And it's nice to have a little element of that on your envelopes, and when people get this, they know that it's a nice handmade card. Let's add that to the inside. Again, I used a 3x4 sheet again for my inside, as I did in that first card. I think that's what I used on all of these cards. And let's move to our next card. As long as I was using that, let's go with this one with the You Got This. And I gotta find my supplies here. And this is where I use some of the wood grain papers. There's a couple different ones that work great for this particular card. And a Night of Navy card base. Well, I'll just dump them all out. I'll just set to the side the ones that I'm not going to use. And I pulled in, I believe this is from the Tasteful Touches die cuts to cut those circles out. I do have the Stitch Stars, also used those yesterday. So kind of once I grab a supply out, I tend to leave it by my die cutting machine, my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine for a few days, and then it gets used a few different times. And we're just sorting out the supplies here because it does have 2 of each, so I don't need all of these. Have to remember which supplies are for what here. Although, you know, of course I could look at my card right here. It's right in front of me. And all right, looks like we are set to go. So again, we have a Night of Navy. Now you notice on these ones, just to be different, I did them opening this way. And this card is more of the traditional style where it's gonna open, I don't wanna say normal because there's nothing wrong with the other way either. And so, and it's gonna go this way. So let's add these. I have Calypso Coral. This is a nice color combination too, Night of Navy and Calypso Coral. And again, looks great with wood grains. And let's attach that. These are so pretty. So I hope you guys are enjoying these cards so far. Let me just review in case you did pop in here late. This is going to be class just like this. It'll be the last Thursday of January on a Facebook Live, just as we're doing right now. If you'd like to participate in this in a Zoom format, starting in February, I will be offering this class as a Zoom option. I haven't decided on the times yet. Depending on what I decide, there might be 2 options. It might be a later in the day and an earlier in the day. And of course, these can always be created on your own time as well. But if you'd like to stamp with me live, that'll be a great option for it. All right, I'm gonna bring back in the You Got This stamp set with my re-inked Night of Navy. Let's see if I can get this just as perfect the second time around as I did when I stamped that first one. Looks like I did. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a great day today. I better do some stamping today. I don't know if I have time to stamp today. We'll see. We'll see what the day brings. Now there is a ribbon I gotta grab out. I talked about this one yesterday, my favorite of all time, that I'm hoping stays around for the rest of my life because I love it so much. It is the metallic mesh ribbon. And I'm just gonna snip off a little tiny piece of it. So this card is actually using 2 different ribbons. I don't usually go with 2 different ribbons, but this one isn't exactly looking like a ribbon once you have it cut. And let's just build our card right now. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I did just take a little tiny piece of this Designer Series paper to add to the bottom of this card. It needed something, even though I am gonna add the ribbon. I just kept looking and looking at it as I was preparing the cards, and I decided that it needed something more. And I think my pieces, I cut them plenty long, so I will be able to snip these a little shorter. And then we'll adhere them with just the regular tape is what we'll do, and we'll tie that same knot on the front of the card. So kind of nice when you can go from, do the same technique for a couple of cards. So we heat embossed on 2 cards. We're doing our bow the same on 2 cards. Actually 3, I didn't even realize that. The last card also has it like that. So a great option. You can tell I was really into this bow being like this. And let's just slide that underneath. So as you see, you don't adhere that on the front, just on the back. And you slide that underneath and then just tie a knot. And that's all there is to that. And then you can just snip down your size to whatever your preferred size is. I like to cut them at just a little bit of an angle. And then let's adhere this with some dimensionals. Looks like I'm gonna finally run out of this one sheet. I'll be able to switch to another one here. So I'll have just enough for my star on this card. And really pretty. Look at that, really great. And then let's go ahead and add the star. I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna try to put my, well, maybe I wanna cut that in half one more time. Almost reached for my ribbon scissors, don't wanna be doing that. I do have some mini ones, but I don't know, I wanna use up this one. For some reason, I'm really wanting to use this one sheet up. Okay, so then I will just put a glue dot on that side rather than trying to get my runner in there. And then I will, oh, not yet. Not yet. Where did I put that little mesh? The one I cut to use, I've already lost. So I will grab the one that I put in the cup to use for the second card that I will make later. All right, so glue dot right in the middle, fold over that mesh ribbon, and just stick it in place. And then let's go ahead and add the star. One more thing to add to the star if you would wish to. Oh goodness, I just about flew my light off of there. All right, so one more thing if you'd like. Never hurts to add a little Wink of Stella, especially because we have that ribbon in there that's a little bit shiny. Definitely optional, which I always pick the optional add-on of Wink of Stella whenever I can. And so there we have our, this is our third card. Let me just check what I did to the inside. Not quite, I gotta add some rhinestones. Real simple here is to add, if I need to clean this because I had used the crushed curry. So let's clean our star. And bring back the Knight of Navy. And you know, when you make cards with these designer series papers, you do always end up with quite a few scraps. And so another fun thing to do is just to add a little scrap to the inside of your card. I'm gonna add that star. So all my envelopes are gonna have a cute little stamp on the outside. So far I have those three. I'll have to remember to do something on that last card. And then you'll see here I have just a little scrap from the Pick a Pattern Designer Series that I'm gonna add to the side. Again, another 3x4 insert. They were all 3x4, which I'm really thinking are just cute as can be. And let's go ahead and put that in place. Add a few rhinestones. So I just couldn't get enough of rhinestones this time around. So both cards I did 5 on. I did a couple on here. Actually, my daughter suggested the rhinestones because I said it needed something else. And she thought, why don't you add some rhinestones? And so that's how that came to be. And let's work with our last card here. This is my favorite. This one I did case from my downline, Heather Riegert. So she gave me this card in a card swap. And it has been sitting on my bookshelf since probably, oh goodness, probably June, maybe July. And so I have been wanting to recreate it for a class since then. And I hadn't used this stamp set yet. So I was just kind of waiting until I decided to use this stamp set to recreate that card. So let's go ahead and grab again. I have got that same embossing folder. So on 3 cards, I have that embossing folder. So just again, I'll say it again, it's just one that you want to have. It's kind of a mainstay. This one or the Subtles. Before this one came out in this annual catalog, I really liked the Subtles, which is still available as well. So one of those two are great options for having just an all-around, all occasions almost, an all-purpose. I guess all-purpose would maybe be the better way for that. All right, let me go ahead and use my bone fold to put that in place. And let's see what we have here. Oh, I did do regular inserts for one, but you know what? I have one over here. I'm gonna just go with that one because I did on the rest of the cards. So if you get the kit, the ones that I've already done up, if I've already sent it, you're going to have the bigger one. So a couple options there. Now this is definitely optional. I didn't pre-do it in all of the kits that went out already, and I won't be in the next one. But if you have a corner rounder, since the Stitch So Sweetly die that I used here is kind of rounded, I had decided to round these corners. And this is my corner rounder that I like to use. And what's great about it is there's some other options on here as well. So it's kind of a 3-in-1 tool. And as you can see, very easy to use. I gotta take a peek at my sample, see what I did next. So I'm gonna build up the card here a little bit, and then I will go back and do my stamping. So I have my favorite color here, Coastal Cabana, and then a couple different patterns. I think I will use this one since on my sample card here I have the other pattern. And then we'll add this to over here, but before we do that, we will add some ribbon from that combo pack. This is a beautiful purple cozy ribbon. I'm gonna do that same exact technique as I did on the other two cards that I did this. And bring in the Scotch tape. So I really hope that some of you will be looking forward to joining me in February when we do turn this into a live option. That'll be super fun to be able to connect with some of you on Zoom. I've been doing my practicing up on Zoom, and I think I am ready to go and offer some Zoom classes in the new year. Not until February. In January, I'm going to be very busy with my first retreat. So we're waiting to see, but as of now, it still is a go for a live portion of the retreat where it's a 1-day in person. The full weekend is sold out. That sold out in, grab my ribbon one. That sold out in about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. It sold out pretty quickly. But there's also the retreat in a box that can be mailed to you. So that's going to be a fun thing. It'll actually the mailed ones will go out the first week of February. And that might depend on a little bit if we end up with a live version of it. So, but registration is still available for that. That goes out every week in my email. So that's going to be something fun in January. So I'm not going to be ready in January to start any live classes, but come February, I'm going to be starting the Zoom classes. So I hope that you'll stick with me till then and then join me. I'd hate to be sitting in a Zoom room all by myself. All right, so then just trim that off. Looks equally as beautiful as all those other ones. And then let's go ahead. I'm going to put this underneath is where I tucked that. So just regular square 2 looks nice. Either option works. And again, I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus today. It is one of my favorites. And I should show, now that I don't have anything to tape it down, I will find something to tape down. So Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus is a great product. There is a little bit of a learning curve to it. So let me just show you here a little tip for you. So if when you're taping like this, you have to kind of start up farther versus down. Our old adhesive, you would go down a little bit. So if you go up and then just kind of stop. The other one, you kind of go like this. This one, you just go down and stop. So you kind of go up a little bit, kind of imagining yourself going up. So as you see, I have no trouble with it, starting or stopping. You probably saw, I limped around a little bit when I was first starting with it, but now absolutely in love with it. It is one of my favorite products. All right, and then I am going to use my Stitch So Sweetly die to do this here. And since this is a larger stamp, what I'm going to do is do my inking from the top. It does help so that you don't get the shadows around and things like that. It keeps things a little bit more neat. Especially when you're working with these dark colors, it's nice to keep your hands nice and clean, if possible. Doesn't always work out that way though. All right, so I'm gonna let that ink soak in. And let's go ahead and pull that out. And then I'm just gonna tap it away. And then I do want to add just a touch more color to that. So let's add some Calypso Coral, since that is what we used in our card base. And I will add just a little bit of these, like a little ray of sunshine coming off of there. And then let's add one. On my sample, I didn't have anything on the inside, but I think I will add it here. Let's add a couple of them. And I think this might look a little bit silly for the envelope, that little sunshine thing, without something else to it. So what I think I will do, I am going to add a heart. I think a heart would look very nice. I'm going to add a heart on the inside too. Let's do that in the Night of Navy. That way we have two colors. And I'll just add, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't do that. Yeah, it looks good. And then let's add the heart on the envelope. There, perfect. I have got 4 beautifully stamped envelopes with just a nice little, oh, look at that. It worked out great. 2 hearts, 2 stars, and I'll pull in the rest of the cards before we finish off. I hope that you guys love this stamp set as much as I do. It is a $1 Million Achievers set. It was Rhonda Wade's set. I know Rhonda, and she's just a ridiculously awesome person as well. So how fitting that this was her stamp set. So if you don't have this one yet, it's a great one to have. Makes nice, fun, cheerful cards. I grabbed these off of my shelf. A couple more cards that I did use with the Playing with Patterns suite. This was probably in June, July. We used this as a product-based class. And a fun treat box, so just some more options, and just to show you how pretty this collection is. But the Ridiculously Awesome stamp set is what I call kind of a standalone stamp set where there aren't dies. It's not within a suite, but it works perfect with this collection of papers and embellishments and ribbons. Add in a little bit of that wood grain paper, and you have just got a great supply of items that you can use to create some beautiful cards. All right, so let's just bring the cards back in for one last look. Oh, I didn't even finish the card. What the heck? Oh, Tammy, this is getting ridiculous here. Oh my. All right, maybe because I ran out of dimensional, so I decided I was just gonna stop. But let's not fear, I have some more. I'll just quick finish. My goodness, I was gonna end without finishing my card. Oh boy. So didn't I just say before it was gonna be a great day because my ink was all re-inked and it was looking beautiful? Well, now if I'm going to forget to finish a card, I guess better that I didn't mail it. So, okay, quick little story, and then while I'm finishing this. So many of you know, let me tell the story behind all those cookies. So many of you know that I used to work at a cafe. My mom and I had a cafe for 26 years that we ran together. And around Christmas time, in the height of us baking cookies, we probably started the cookies about 10 years ago. And then in like the most popular times, and before we limited, the last 2 years we kind of limited how many we made and only did like 250 dozen or so. But in the years prior to that, we would do 400 or 500 dozen cookies. That's like a lot of cookies that we would bake and frost, all from scratch. And so it's been a year. We closed the cafe. Oh, I didn't do that quite right. We closed the cafe last January so my mom could retire and I could do this full time. And I hadn't baked a cookie since. Like, I didn't even have a mixing bowl at home. So I went and bought a mixing bowl the other day and baked up some cookies last night. And my friends are making some lovely donations for me to do some cookies. And I don't even know where I was going with that. So that's what I've been up to. Who knows what I'm talking about? So that's where the cookies came from. I think that's all I was going to tell you, but that's where the post with the cookies came from. So maybe I should just stick with the cookies for the day and not the stamping. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So the cafe. So I said better than I didn't send this out without the stamped image on it, without that piece. Because at the cafe, a couple of times I sent out like food to the dining room without the burger. So you'd get the plate all ready with the fries and everything, and then you give it to the customer and there'd be no burger on the plate. And they'd be like, ma'am, something's wrong here. So that's what I was gonna tell you. Just a funny little story. All right, so look at how fun these cards are. I am in love with this collection. All right, I'm gonna just take a look here if there's any questions. And then we'll just wrap it up. Of course, Cards and Coffee, if we were in person, usually it's about an hour, hour and a half. It looks like everybody was enjoying watching today. So good morning and hello. And now we're probably close to afternoon. Some of you, it's probably well into the afternoon yet. And yeah, so okay, I will make sure that there is an order code. If you would like these, a $50 order gets you these all for free, sent to you for free, no cost to you at all. If you use the host code that is linked to the Cards and Coffee class. And then I will share the option if you would like to just purchase the card supplies, embellishments to create these. So maybe you already own this stamp set. Maybe you're a demonstrator and you just want the card ideas from me. That's absolutely fine. I will send those, but the order option for that will post as well. And let's see. Looks like that is about all that we need. All right, everybody, have a great day. Let's talk about when we'll be back again. So we will be back for sure December 23rd, it's next Wednesday, our regular Facebook Live at 11 a.m. Central Time. So I hope you can join me then. If I don't see you before, have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and see you next week. Bye-bye.